Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So it's the start of the new week, and I do believe Ethereum's upcoming upgrade, which is right around the corner, is a big deal. So today I want to talk about Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin did receive a big endorsement, and another big FUD piece has come out. But I want to concentrate today on Ethereum because a lot of people are talking about Ethereum, about how maybe Ethereum is going to lead this next bull run up or this next leg up. So let's talk about this big upgrade and what it's going to bring to Ethereum and why it's a big deal. All right, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. Two streams every day, 11:30 and 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All right, guys, let's do this. Again, lively crowd. Start of the new week. We're starting with a little bit of Bitcoin weakness, but overall, we've just been kind of hovering sideways. So Bitcoin is, where is it? It's 35.8 right now. So a little bit lower than a 36 we were at yesterday. And, you know, it's kind of hugging this bottom pennant right now. It's kind of just like hugging that line, slowly creeping up, but still hugging. Still not a whole lot of momentum right now. We're upwards. You can argue no momentum at all, downwards or upwards, right? So we're kind of all hovering. But today we have some good news and some bad news, and they kind of negated each other out. Starting with the good news with Bitcoin, well, Michael Saylor decided that he doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough and he wants more. So now he is going to do another. He has done two already. I think one was like 600 or 700 million, 700 or 800 million, and then another billion. Now he wants to do another notes offering, this time a little bit smaller, 400 million. So Michael Saylor, as soon as this is done, I'm sure he's going to get it. The terms of this one is a little bit different. I was looking at it because he has so much Bitcoin already. The notes or the existing Bitcoin he has bought will be like moved to a different company. So the notes will not be backed by the current BTC that MicroStrategy holds. It will be just the new BTC plus MicroStrategy and their assets. So it's a little bit different. He's separating out, but still, Michael is just going all out. When he doesn't have enough money from MicroStrategy, he just does another notes offering, right? And as long as the appetite is there and people want to buy these notes, well, he's gonna get basically endless amount of money to buy as much Bitcoin as he wants, right? I know that Michael Saylor, he's like the new Bitcoin Jesus, like I like to call him, the biggest Bitcoin bull. But, you know, it takes some real guts, real cojones right now to be buying more and more Bitcoin, especially because all his last buys have all been down. His $1 billion buy was at like 52,000. All the other ones he's been buying has been above 50,000, 40,000. So they're all at a loss right now. However, a cost average, the beauty of dollar cost averaging is that, yeah, when you don't know the bottom or top, you keep buying, and you keep buying, and you keep buying, and you average out. And that is what he has been doing. So despite the fact that his last few buys have been in the negative, but he bought a lot very early on, and when you add cost average, he's still way in the green, right? So Michael is doing what a holder should be doing. Basically ignoring the price. That's really hard to do, especially when you have billions on the line. Ignore the price, dollar cost average, and buy the dips and hodl. That's pretty much what he's doing, and that's what I'm doing, and what most people in the Bitcoin community is doing, because ultimately we know that this is the right strategy. Short term, there'll be volatility. Short term, there might be a lot of pressure, a lot of FUD driven pressure, right? But overall, we know that Bitcoin is going to go much higher. And once it does, all this will be forgotten, and all these moves by Michael will look like genius moves, right? So we have that. That's really, really good news. But unfortunately, this seems like it was negated by this FUD from Trump. So Trump did an interview this morning, and was asked about crypto. And President Trump said that he believes Bitcoin is a scam, or looks like a scam. To quote him exactly, Trump, it seems like a scam. I don't like it because it competes with the US dollar, and I don't want the dollar, I want the dollar to be the currency of the world. So here's the thing. I think this is why there's two things. One is Trump could be saying this because he wants to be accumulating Bitcoin. He's a businessman. He's a money guy. I really have a hard time believing that he doesn't understand Bitcoin by now. Second of all, I mean, so that's the first thing. Second thing is, if he truly believes this, then he's just misinformed. The Bitcoin does not compete with the US dollar. It does not. Bitcoin competes more with gold, with assets, with precious metals. The US dollar is fiat. And every dollar, every currency out there used by every country on earth is fiat. And they're controlled. They're centralized. The Federal Reserve of the country control it. And as much of it can be printed as possible. Bitcoin is not like that. Bitcoin is not like that. So it's the anti-dollar, right? But we know that there are limitations to Bitcoin right now, right? It's slow. It can't be used by billions of people for day-to-day transactions. At least not yet. Maybe with a proper layer 2, it could be like that. But right now, that's not the intended purpose. The intended purpose is to act as a hedge against inflation and to be a store of value, and that is not competing with the US dollar. The Facebook DEM would be competing with the US dollar. Stable coins will be competing with the US dollar, and other digital currencies that's meant to be a day-to-day currency are competing with the US dollar. Not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a pharmaceutical grade gold. And it's better in every way, except you can't make physical jewelry with it. And it has none of the drawbacks, right? So I don't know. I don't know how to take this. Whether or not Trump is just saying one thing and doing another behind the scenes, because I kind of don't believe that he doesn't understand Bitcoin. I'm thinking that's the case. But if it's not, and he just doesn't like doesn't like Bitcoin because he thinks it competes with the dollar due to misunderstanding, well, that could be fixed. And I think once he really truly learns about Bitcoin, then he'll realize it doesn't compete with the US dollar, and realize why so many billionaires like himself are loading up on Bitcoin, because fears of the dollar devaluing and fears of inflation. So unfortunately, this came out this morning, so this kind of counteracted Michael's good news. But we'll see. Michael, when this private notes offering is done, and he buys, maybe he's going to do something different. Maybe he's going to buy it all on Coinbase. I hope so. I know he works with Coinbase. Normally his buys are OTC from Coinbase, so he just buys it directly from Coinbase's private vault or private storage. But Coinbase has a ton of Bitcoin. So it's usually like that, or Coinbase facilitates some kind of buy. He doesn't actually just put an order, like a limit order on Coinbase and say, okay, buy $400 million worth of Bitcoin at 36,000, right? He doesn't do that. He should, because if he did, it would pump Bitcoin up to above 40,000, no problem. No problem. He'll probably pump it back up to 60,000 right away. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be done. But I do think it's going to do something. It's going to do something. This kind of large purchase definitely sways the price one way or another. All right, what else is there? Just quick note about this. I thought this was interesting. This is one of the benefits of holding, and some of you guys have gotten a smaller version of this, where you may have found a wallet from a few years ago. It may have some Bitcoin in there, or it may have some Chainlink in there, or VeChain in there, or Cardano in there, that have gone up tens of thousands of percent within the last three years, right? But it seems like 1,000 students that was attending MIT 6 years ago or 7 years ago, they were given $100 worth of Bitcoin. So actually 3,100 students, they were given $100 in Bitcoin. I don't know why, what kind of class, but they were learning about it. They were given out, and that $100 is now worth $20,000. But unfortunately, most of the students back then did not believe in it and sold it, but kind of shows you 13,000% gains within 7 years, that's not too shabby, right? And there's many altcoins that have done just as well, if not more, within just the last 3 years, right? So there's still plenty of growth left, and these kind of gains could be right around the corner. It doesn't take that long, just a few years. Some people want it like within a month and maybe within a week. That's why they get into all these hyped up meme coins, right? But just holding on to Bitcoin and the solid altcoins will see similar returns in just a few years. It doesn't take that long. All right. So now let's talk about Ethereum. Ethereum's big upgrade and why it's such a big deal. So I came across this entrepreneur article talking about the 2 upgrades that will lead to Serenity, which is aka Ethereum 2.0, and the beacon chain is already up and running, and over 5 million ETH has been staked in. So that is a big deal. That's basically removing 5 million ETH out of this current supply. So if you look at this, we already had the Berlin upgrade, and then now the next one is London. And London should either be at end of this month or the beginning of July. So it's not too far off, just a few weeks off. Now, what London Hardfork brings is vast changes to how gas fees are calculated. And also, it adds in a deflationary aspect to Ethereum. This is a big deal. Right now, Ethereum is deflationary based on what I just said. There's a lot of ETH that's staked into the beacon chain. So that means it's out of circulation. It's just sitting there. You can't unlock it. Once you stake it, it's done. You have to wait until the chain comes out. Also, DeFi projects make Ethereum, or at least Ether, deflationary, because when people lock in their ETH, let's say into a DEX or a farm or a liquidity pool or a lending protocol, you know, all that Ether is just sitting there. It's also locked in, or it could be sitting somewhere accruing interest, right? That also makes it deflationary. But this is different. This will make it native. This is not based on a dApp or something like that. This would actually make it native. So what I mean by that, let's go scroll down. You can definitely see transaction fees is through the roof right now. In 2017, there was, I'm surprised nothing shows up in 2017 here, but you know, right now, 2020, 2021 is just insane. And of course, there are layer 2 solutions. I think this article is actually created by Seller because there's a specific section just talks about how Seller as a layer 2 can solve a lot of things that even this upgrade can't solve. But Seller is one of them. Of course, you have other big players like Matic or Polygon that's in the space. You have a lot of EVM compatible chains too, right? That's also in the space. And of course, you have Arbitrum and Optimism, and there's a whole lot that's also out there. OMG is another one. There's just a ton of layer 2 solutions out there, and a lot of them have gained a lot of traction because of the high gas fees and congestion. But what does this new upgrade, London upgrade, what does it really do? Well, the biggest one has to be this Ethereum Improvement Protocol, EIP 1559, that could be contentious. I haven't heard otherwise. But right now, it's set to go live, but I'll tell you why it could be contentious. So what does 1559 do? It restructures how gas fees are calculated on Ethereum. Right now, it's based on a first come, first auction kind of setup. And I didn't really quite understand what that meant. And then I found this that explains it really, really well. And then you'll realize why it's not efficient at all and why gas fees from 1 minute to the other can really fluctuate. All right. So this current system known as a first price auction, the system works by having everyone submit their bid, their gas price for how much they're willing to pay to have their transaction picked up by a miner. Usually miners select transactions ranked by the highest fees, which results in users grossly overpaying. So if you wanted to make a trade, you wanted to send crypto or ETH from one wallet to another or from exchange to a wallet or whatever, and you didn't want to wait, you could set a ridiculously high gas rate, and the miners will pick it up and process your transaction first. But if you don't want just pick a very high transaction, a high gas fee, and you just want your transaction to go through within a few minutes, right? You're kind of guessing. A lot of the wallets, a lot of the exchanges will kind of just guess what is a good gas fee to get that happen. Sometimes they guess wrong and transactions take forever, and sometimes they guess right but they overguess and you're paying more than what you should. So based on the system, it's all random. You don't know if whatever you're paying for gas fee is within reason, or it's too high or too low. You just don't know. That is the whole thing about this price auction, and that is what they're trying to fix. So with this new EIP, or whatever you say, EIP 1559, they're going to change that. Now they're going to set it so the network will tell you exactly based on the block what the gas fee should be. So there's no more guessing. It'll tell you exactly based on how much transactions is going into this block that's on the network that's going to be processed. This is exactly how much it's going to cost. So there is no more guessing. This is just how it is. Now, of course, you can up it. You can still pay more gas if you want to have your transaction processed faster, but ultimately this will take the guessing game out. And they're spreading out the fees two different ways. There's going to be a base fee, which is covering what I just said, and of course, like an optional fee that will be given to the miners. And the reason why they're doing this and giving that little bit to the miners is because the base fee the network collects now will be burned. So they're adding an native deflationary aspect to Ethereum now. Just think about that for a second. Every single base fee collected by Ethereum, all the gas that's processed will be burned. So there's going to be less and less ETH over time. Now, many think that this will not make Ethereum completely deflationary because there is still an inflation rate that adds on to reward the miners. That's how it's always been. But with this, you add deflationary features to native deflationary token burning to Ethereum. It could counteract the inflationary rate, so it can make it just even out. And maybe there's so many transactions that actually does make it deflationary. So that is a revolutionary new thing that's coming to Ethereum, that you have this new base fee will basically automatically calculate how much gas you need to spend, and whatever that is spent will be burned. It'll be burned and removed from the system forever. That is huge. That is pretty huge. So not only does it make it more efficient, the whole system more efficient in terms of the gas that's being spent, but also you're adding the inflationary aspect to Ethereum. Now, why this could be contentious is because this fee, the base fee, is not given to the miners anymore. Okay? Right now, all fees is given to the miners, which is a lot. Every single gas fee that's given out is spread out to the miners. But with this base fee and this side fee, it removes basically all of it. The majority of it is burned. It's not going to the miners anymore. So the miners actually collect a very small amount now. So this article also brings up how Ethereum miners made about 2.35 billion in revenue last month. Just last month, all Ethereum miners around the world made about 2.35 billion. Okay, so if this EIP 1559 gets implemented, about half of that, which is the base, will be just burned, so that the fees or the rewards that the miners make now will drop in half. Basically, it go from 2.35 down to about about 50%. Yeah, so it'll go down to like 1.16 or something like that, right? So as you can see, as a miner, you're basically losing out 50% of your profit. So you're not happy about that, right? But it's good for the system. So do you choose to contend with this, or do you choose to go along, right? So there's been both sides of the fence. A lot of big miners have come out have said, yeah, we'll support it. Some miners are still sitting on the sidelines saying, I don't know, like, why should I support this? I'm losing half of my revenue, right? So that's the thing. So we'll see. This is coming in a few weeks. Okay, so this London hard fork, this EIP 1559. I mean, this is a big deal. This is a really big deal for Ethereum, and if it gets passed, this could make Ethereum or Ether or ETH even more deflationary than it is now, and could definitely cause the price to go up. But we have to see if the miners support it. Worst case scenario, if you get at least 51% of the miners to say, no, we're not going to support the upgrade, then there'll probably be a contentious hard fork, and we're probably going to see another version of Ethereum come out. Most likely, Vitalik and the team and the miners that do support it will continue on with Ethereum. But then you have another team, you know, basically, or just the miners that'll support the old software, and I don't know what they're gonna call it, Ethereum Cash or something like that. Maybe there will be something like that, but hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully all the miners agree and move this forward, because this will change Ethereum in a big way. Obviously, this is leading up to Serenity, which is Ethereum 2.0. So all this needs to be done before the two chains can be merged together, I think, at the end of the year. I think that's the timeline, somewhere around the end of the year, because right now you have basically two different chains, and eventually they will have to merge into one, and that'll be a big deal. That'll be a big deal. All right, so hopefully that explained why this is a big deal, and hopefully this goes through. Hopefully it goes through. All right, that's pretty much it. Now, before I get into Q&A, I do have a new sponsor, and this is a project that I think a lot of you guys will like. And I have like a preview of it, and I've been looking through it, and it's pretty darn interesting. And this project is called Blockster. And what they're trying to do is create a decentralized Facebook or social network, or all-in-one social platform that pretty much handles everything. And it's kind of interesting. Right now, it's a wait list, so you can't actually get in, but you could definitely join a wait list. But I've been given preview access. So I'm looking through here, and it looks, the feel of it is very like Facebook-like, without all the ads. Like you're bombarded with a million ads that you don't want to see. That doesn't exist right now. So you could see right on top, you can post within your feed. There's a news feed, and you can see news feeds from other people. Also, they make recommendations on news, on ticker, you know, like the prices of crypto, who you may want to follow, trending articles. I mean, very much like Facebook, clean interface, but without all the junk, all the gaming junk and the ads and everything else, right? So that's what Blockster's trying to do. They just want to make everything centralized. They have a native token, and they want to bring, you know, like an all-in-one experience. So if you look on the side, they have everything broken up. Your profile, block desk, block watch. You know, what is that? You have pages. So, of course, you can have pages like Bitcoin page. You can have your own page. You can have your profile page. You can have a company page. But, you know, it's kind of just like Facebook. You have pages, right? And then you have individual pages for individual people. Again, you can post whatever you want, right? They also do have their block desk, which is basically news articles and people that are posting, kind of like Medium, right? That's, you know, for blog. So that's integrated. So they have that already. They also have Blockwatch, of course. This is like CMC, where you can track all the latest crypto and their prices. So that's in there. You have groups, kind of like Facebook groups. If you want to create a group, if you want to join like Bitcoin's group or Ethereum's group or any other group, you can. So they have that as well. They have Academy, Blog Academies, to learn about things, right? So they're pretty much building everything into this one social platform. And it looks pretty cool right now. I mean, again, there's not that much on there. This is a test net, not many people on there. But right now, it seems like they have a pretty good system ready, even in being in test net or test mode right now. So they do have a token sale right now. So right now, there's many phases, phase 1, phase all the way to phase 6. They are doing phase 1 right now. So they do have their own native token. And what do you do with that token? Well, they're going to have an advertisement platform within. So you go use BXR to be paying for ads and so forth. You can also tip people. So they have that. If you have a content creator that you like, you could tip them directly with BXR. You could utilize it for governance, for voting on future decisions. There will be token burning as well. That any 5% of all that's spent on advertisements. There's P2P transactions between you and your family members. So there's like remittance services that's built in. And there's revenue for basically 20% of all advertising revenues gets shared with BXR stakers. So there are a lot of use cases with BXR. And the token sale is ongoing right now. And if you're interested, take a look. Check out Blockster. Unfortunately, you can't really see it for yourself because it's in test mode, but join the waitlist. Use my link in the description of this video, and you could, sign up to use this when this is available. All right, that's pretty much it. Now let's do some Q&A. Oh man, I said a lot. Said a lot there. All right, so Q&A. Right now CMC. It's about the same as yesterday. A little bit lower. But obviously, I just got done talking about Ethereum. Ethereum is doing a little bit better today, up about 2% overall, 5% for the week. Today this week is kind of iffy, right? Obviously, you have some good movers, some altcoins. Good mover, like Solana is a very good mover. Theta is a good mover. I told you guys why. I created videos on why. Filecoin's pretty good. Aave, look at Kusama, IOTA. So it's mixed this week where you have some really good movers. Binance Coin's another one. Doge, Polkadot, and Ethereum, which is why BTC dominance continues to go down. Last night was 41%. I already made note of how it came down drastically, and now came down a little bit more. So this notion, some people are asking about whether or not Ethereum could be leading this next leg up or the second half of the bull run. I would argue that if you look at not only Ethereum but DeFi and NFT and everything collectively, yeah, it could definitely lead the market higher because this is where all the retail money is, right? All the retail money is going into DeFi and NFTs and big caps like Ethereum. So it definitely will help and contribute. Tima's asking about Happy. It's a next gem. I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm gonna skip over that. Sorry. Arweave, yes, I heard Arweave is up big time today. I don't know the specific news about Arweave that drove it up 32%, but I've been telling you guys, out of all the decentralized storage, I support Arweave the most because they're the backbone to Solana in terms of storage. All the dApps on Solana is really hot right now. They partner up with Arweave for decentralized storage, so they don't have to create their own. Right, so I've said I like Arweave a lot. I like it more than Filecoin or Storage or Sidecoin, right? What's happening to Matic? Nothing's happening. Nothing out of ordinary, I should say. they're still onboarding clients. They just recently they created a fund. I think a 21 million fund to bring more dApps to Polygon. So that's still going. Be careful with coin advertising. Bag was a bit scammy. I'm excited to look into it. Join it. Well, thanks for that warning, but a lot of them are very early stage. Marky, thank you. What do you think about VET with Jaguar? I didn't hear about it. I thought Jaguar was partnered up with IOTA. this. China's Tesla Cherry Jaguar lands. Oh, I thought, oh, maybe I'm thinking about, yeah, I would have partnered up with someone else. Well, this is good. This is good. It's good. It's good. I mean, this is why I've always supported VeChain, is because of their partnerships. Their partnerships is just, it's well beyond anyone out there, right? I know VeChain doesn't have the most robust DeFi or NFT marketplaces and so forth. They're getting there. They're getting there. But you know, when it comes to real world usage, no one comes close to VeChain. So it's very good. Very good. Thanks for pointing that out. What do you think about Altara? I looked at it recently. It looks like a small cap. Yeah, I looked at this, you know, it's a little bit too early to call. But what's interesting is for gaming, you can have NFTs that actually change their properties. So if it's like a NFT sword, let's say, the sword will actually break down. That's their claim to fame right now, right? So at face value, that looks interesting. That sounds good, but they're still very small right now. So got to see if they can actually get some real world adoption. Michael, so far my portfolio consists of 0.94 BTC, 2.6 ETH, 1700 Cardano. Okay, just got into crypto after initial dip. How does this look? I don't know what they all translate to in terms of like dollar amounts, but 50, 25, 25. 50, 25, 25. So as long as you could break that, you know, your portfolio up into 50, 25, 25, 50% Bitcoin, 25% big caps, 25% small caps, then I think you're doing okay. And on a note of those 4 tokens, I think they're all good. I think they're all good. StormX 12.5 APR. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Internet computer, I think it's a little too overhyped, and some of the things I've learned about it, I'm not thrilled. There are some like very centralized aspects to ICP, so Layer 2 says George is a guy from Crypto Banter. Okay. Or maybe Crypto Banter invited me on. I'm not just a guy from Crypto Banter. What else is there? AMP. A lot of people love AMP. I do too. I think there's only good things coming for AMP. Frontier. It's not done. It needs to be done. It's supposed to be an all-in-one DeFi app. That's their claim to fame, but it was too hyped up, and they're not done. They have some big things going on with Avalanche. Again, that's not done either. So he's got to wait and see what happens when they're all complete. Stellar, you know, Stellar's always gonna be around. Their bank, their Bitcoin bank is enormous. You know, and right now they're a little more interesting because they're getting into DeFi. They had USDC onboarded, and I hear they're doing other things with DeFi. So unfortunately, some of the stuff that they were doing with like IBM, with WorldWire and stuff like that, just I guess they just never continued with that. But where are they? How come I don't see it? Yeah, here we go. Okay, they've fallen quite a bit, but I think they're gonna stick around. I think they're gonna stick around. What do you think about MTV being multi-core Ethereum with industrial scalability to infinity? You are able to stake with dual-core 2 gig PC. Okay. I don't... It's good to know, but that's not very interesting. You could stake a lot of things with a very... You know, with a Pi setup or something. You could do it on your Game Boy. I mean, there's a lot of things you could stake with. It doesn't take a lot of power. That shouldn't be a selling point. As for MTV themselves, I forgot their main claim to fame. I looked at them before. It was kind of like average, and they are really, really small cap. So I don't know if they can come back. I didn't watch the start. Trump doesn't like crypto. Trump doesn't like Bitcoin because he thinks it competes with the dollar. So I don't know if he's just saying that just to play dumb while he's accumulating, or he really doesn't understand Bitcoin because it doesn't compete with the dollar. So, so it depends. But you could rewind and see or hear more of my thoughts. Elrond is the best tech blockchain. No, based on what you said, no. It's not the best tech. It's good tech, but there's a lot of chains that's very similar. High throughput, utilizes sharding, EVM compatible. There's a lot of chains that's in that space. Hedera, Hashgraph, TA, please. There's no need for that. Phantom has been doing well. Phantom was actually one of the coins that I talked about recently in terms of top 10 coins or something like that, or coins that I think are good holds right now. Phantom is one of them because it is a EVM compatible chain. It has its own DeFi ecosystem. It does have value locked in, right? And it has a lot of things coming aboard. So I like Phantom. Like a lot of people ask me the difference between Phantom and like Harmony. I think they're very similar, but also different. It all comes down to the ecosystem. It all comes down to like the dApps that you could draw aboard that actually will use them. Ecomi. Not a lot of people have asked me about Ecomi recently. They kind of, the whole NFT marketplace came down. Obviously, well, a lot of things came down because the market came down, but NFTs overall has really struggled because it was really hot. Like everyone was talking about it, everyone's getting in. All the celebrities were doing like these high dollar auctions, and then it just flooded the market with non-stop NFT stuff, right? So I think right now things are calming down, settling down, and the winners will stay around, right? I think Ecomi is one of them. They have exclusive licensing to a lot of things: NFL, DC comic books, and then movie producers. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they have licensing to. So I don't think they're gonna go away. I think they're gonna stick around. But I think a lot of these will probably stay low, like won't regain as quick because there's still a lot of NFT out there and they need to kind of die down. I don't have any thoughts on Pack Global. People should look at ETH BTC chart and pay attention to what it's saying. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Oh, I'm supposed to talk to someone that asked about Theta. I'm supposed to talk to Theta, I think either today or tomorrow. It's interesting because, they're coming out there onto the marketplace, which would be a big thing. So go talk to them about that, and also about possibly dual streaming on YouTube and Theta. So that could be happening. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Overall, you know what? Bitcoin, it looks like it came down a little bit, but overall, it's still kind of just hugging the bottom of this pennant and just kind of going sideways, a little up and down, a little up and down. Unfortunately, today we had good news from Michael Saylor, and then we had bad news from Trump. So it kind of negated each other out. The market overall, like broader market, is not doing well too. So that's having effect. But you know what? We will get through this. Of course, we will get through it. A lot of the altcoins are still holding very strong. BTC dominance still coming down. Kind of shows you that retail investors are still taking advantage, and that's a good thing. You buy the dips, you buy low and you sell high, right? Not the opposite. But I did explain why this London fork is very, very, very important for Ethereum. It's a big deal. It'll add native deflationary burning to Ethereum, and also just really revamp how gas fees are calculated, which is also a big deal. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day. So tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.